The Climate Village program Proklim. It is a national initiative of community-based climate change activities on the local level. Are we aware of the trend that natural disasters are becoming more frequent? Since the last decade, the number of disasters in Indonesia has increased. This trend is dominated by disasters due to climate change and extreme weather events or hydrometeorology such as floods, strong wind, landslide, forest fire, and drought. Factors increasing this trend are mainly environmental damage and a decrease of environmental quality due to human activities. For example, the critical condition at the watershed. Furthermore, population growth, urbanization, spatial planning problems, and unsustainable social behavior that does not reflect environmental awareness. This is worsened by the impacts of climate change caused by global warming. As we know, global warming is a result of increasing greenhouse gas emission driven by various human activities. The Ministry of Environment and Forestry encourages all communities to take an active role, considering individuals and communities are the key actors to reduce the risk of hydrometeorological disasters. One of the Ministry of Environment and Forestry strategies is strengthening community-based climate change adaptation and mitigation capacity in the local level through the implementation of Proklim. The Indonesian law asserts that communities obtain the same rights and opportunities in contributing to the management and protection of the environment. The awareness of communities on climate change and its impact, which can threaten various aspects of life, needs to be increased. Proklim enhances the active role of communities to respond to climate change impact and adopt low carbon emission lifestyle. Proklim can be developed by community groups, village, traditional village, and it can be also established by communities at other specific areas that have been implementing sustainable adaptation and mitigation actions, such as college, boarding schools, and parishes. How is Proklim implemented? Proklim can be implemented by existing community groups in an area. They play a role as a working group. This working group identifies the vulnerability, risks, and climate change impacts, as well as the sources of greenhouse gases emissions. The results from this initial identification exercise are incorporated into the vulnerability and greenhouse gases emission profile. Thereafter, the working group identifies the availability of human resources and the capacity building needs. Furthermore, the working group develops a plan to improve community capacity. Together with the working group, communities define the targets to be achieved to respond to the impacts of climate change. All the inputs and ideas are used to develop a climate change adaptation and mitigation actions plan, as well as actions to strengthen institutions and sustainability aspects. The next step is to plan climate change adaptation activities. For example, controlling drought, floods, and landslide by constructing rainwater storage, biopores, and infiltration wells. Other activities are water saving, constructing or modifying building construction to be adaptive to climate change, flood control facilities, enhance food resiliency by applying sequential planting pattern system, crops diversity, and integrated agriculture, irrigation management, and by utilizing the yard for diverse function. For example, growing vegetables and medicinal plants, building fish ponds, etc. Climate-related disease control is strengthened by controlling disease factors, activate the roles of the mosquito larva monitoring personnel, and preventing dengue transmission, as well as adopting healthy lifestyle, improving sanitation and clean water supply. Climate change mitigation action planning through solid waste and wastewater management, usage of renewable energy, energy conservation and saving, low-emission agriculture, the increase of vegetation cover, the prevention of management of forests and land fires, planning of climate change adaptation and mitigation in the coastal areas, prevention of sea level rise, coastal floods, intrusions, abrasion, ablation, wind erosions, and high waves. Further activities are the development of natural or artificial protection structures and alternative sustainable livelihoods. The next step is the implementation of the action plan. Action plans are implemented by prioritizing activities that contribute most to the reduction of greenhouse gas emission or reduce the most critical impacts of climate change. Proklim is an initiative to promote sustainable community-based activity. Thereby, institutional strengthening is the key of success. Community groups in the Proklim location are the spearhead in implementing climate change adaptation and mitigation activities at the local level. By implementing sustainable activities, Proklim may provide economic, social, environmental benefits and contributes to the reduction of risk caused by climate change. With Proklim, we can create a new generation that cares about climate change for our children and grandchildren, for a sustainable life on Earth. Let's move together. With Proklim, let's implement adaptation and mitigation activities.